morning, Pedime. This is African News on Star from 101.5. I am Tomi Sigujo. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari is nominated for former military commanders for ambassadorial roles after their resignation last week. The president overhauls the military top command amid growing calls for a reshuffle due to the insecurity across the country. He accepted the resignation of the Chief of Defense Staff, the heads of the Army, Navy, and Air Force respectively, and approved their retirement from service. On Thursday, forwarded their names to the Senate for approval for the diplomatic posts. Now, the Senate is likely to approve their nominations. Nigeria, however, has been struggling to deal with the decade-long Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast, as well as kidnappings and banditry across the country. The president has also extended the tenure of the Inspector General of Police by 3 months. And moving to Ethiopia, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has expressed his concern over the situation in the Tigray region during talks with Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Blinken urged Abiy to allow humanitarian access to the region to prevent further loss of life. He also pledged the U.S. support for Ethiopia's reforms and elections. Blinken said Abiy thanked the U.S. Secretary of State for his commitment to support Ethiopia's deep reforms they will pursue undeterred. The aspirations, as said, is to democratize and build a multidimensional, prosperous and peaceful country for all that will be enhanced through the strengthened Ethiopia-US relations. The Tigray regional troops clashed with the federal forces in November. Thousands of residents fled the region and humanitarian organizations have been unable to reach them since then. And Mozambique will, from today, impose a nighttime curfew in the country's epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. President Filipe Nyusi announced yesterday, Thursday. The 30-day curfew comes amid increasing number of infections and deaths. It will be enacted in the greater Maputo region, including the capital, Maputo, the town of Matola, and the district of Marakwene and Buhan from 9 p.m. local time. It is the first time a curfew has been imposed on the country since the civil war ended in 1992, the AFP news agency reports. Essential service providers will not be affected by the curfew. In the address to the nation, President Nyusi also announced a raft of restrictions, including closure of all places of worship, the ban on conferences and religious celebrations, and the postponement of the resumption of the face-to-face classes in schools for 30 days. And still on African news, Malawi is setting up field hospitals to cope with the COVID-19 as the country is facing a resurgence of the virus. President Lazarus Chakwera lost 2 cabinet ministers to the disease last year at the start of this year pandemic. He has said the health system is facing quite a desperate situation. The head of the Presidential Nominee Committee on COVID-19, John Puka, told international news media the disease was spreading a lot during the festive season. Attempts by the Coronavirus Task Force to enforce more restrictions have been met with court injunctions. There are more cases requiring admission, prompting the need for more resources, and the president has last month appealed for support to deal with the pandemic. There are 25,884 confirmed cases of coronavirus, including 779 deaths according to the Health Ministry. And lastly on news, 15 members of the Ghanaian Parliament and 56 state members have contacted coronavirus, local media reports have said. They returned positive tests following a recent round of testing, and Speaker Alban Baghdin is quoted as saying in the Parliament on Thursday. The infected lawmakers and staff have been asked to self-isolate while undergoing treatment, according to the reports. Parliament will consequently only sit on Tuesday and Thursday from next week, with entry permitted to members of Parliament and staff needed for the businesses of the day, the Speaker is reported to also have said. There were complaints of the members of Parliament dodging the COVID-19 testing, and Ghana has so far recorded over 69,259 cases and 440 deaths since it first reported its first case in March 2020. That brings us to the end of African News on Star FM 101.5. It was produced and read by Tomi Sigujo. Good morning.